with him, you got deeper into drink,
Yeah.
got into drugs because he was.
Right.
What advice did she give you?
If you feel it's right, do it, and just be yourself. You are who you are.
They sang like angels before they even lost a single baby tooth, but time was waiting with a crooked grin. Every chart they topped, every auditorium they packed, every fistful of cash their parents banked stole another irreplaceable day of recess and tree climbing. The bright bulbs were hot, the crowd screamed, and millions of adults pointed and clapped at children who barely understood what that roar even meant. It felt glorious until the roar quieted, and suddenly the silence was deafening. Brenda Lee was so tiny the microphone nearly swallowed her whole, yet the sound that burst from her lungs echoed through 3 continents. By age 12, she spent more nights in motels than at home and knew more sound engineers than classmates. She counted birthdays on buses and stared out dark windows as another interstate sliced past. People still call her Little Miss Dynamite, but radio quietly pushed her aside for newer digital darlings. Only a late career holiday surge reminds the world she is still here. Tanya Tucker kicked open the door of country radio at 13 with Delta Dawn, and money thundered in while tabloids stalked her. Grown men twice her age wanted dates, and late-night parties blurred into early morning TV sets. Rumors swirled of coke habits chased by tequila shots, romances with writers who should have known better, and a soul sprinting faster than her heartbeat could handle. Johnny Horton grew up roping calves at youth rodeos, harmonizing with pickup truck radios, dreaming of chart positions. He slapped history over guitar chords and scored a monster with The Battle of New Orleans. 2 years later, fresh off a gig, he piled into a Cadillac for the long drive home. The highway was black, the bridge curved, and steel bent like taffy. The crash left fans stunned that a voice so full of life could vanish in an instant. Ricky Nelson was America's televised big brother on The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Cameras adored his shy grin, but as the 60s barreled into psychedelia, he chased trends that no longer wanted him. On New Year's Eve 1985, he boarded an aging DC-3, hoping to squeeze one more nostalgic tour out of a long year. Somewhere above Texas, the cabin filled with smoke, and the former teen idol died before midnight struck. Hank Williams Jr. was only 8 when promoters demanded he replicate his legendary father. Depression waited behind each curtain, bottles stacked, and in 1975, an icy mountain climb ended with a face-shattering fall that should have killed him. Surgeons rebuilt bone by bone. He re-emerged louder and defiantly himself, yet the scars beneath the beard never faded. Lori Morgan stepped on the Grand Ole Opry stage at 13. Stardom followed, but joy dried up when her husband Keith Whitley lost a battle with the bottle. She buried him, faced reporters who treated tears like ratings, and later watched more family illness creep in. Linda Ronstadt sprinted through a male-dominated maze, belting past every barrier, but midlife tremors signaled betrayal. Doctors named the disorder, and the golden throat now whispers. Marie Osmond giggled through variety show skits while battling relentless body shaming. Motherhood offered solace until one son, cornered by inner storms, chose tragic self-harm. She tours, donates, and wears armor heavier than sequins. Jet Williams arrived as Hank Sr.'s hidden daughter. Bureaucrats sealed her records, and she spent years proving genetics obvious the moment she hummed a note. Victory felt bittersweet, her image haunted by drink-slurred headlines. Shirley Colley's childhood voice once dazzled barn dance crowds. History remembers her mainly as Willie Nelson's former wife. Linda Manning rang out across Opry loudspeakers before most kids finished multiplication tables. Yet without label muscle, she returned to Alabama, teaching choirs while her lone recording quietly ages. Judy Rodman harmonized before she could spell, scored a breakout hit, then label mergers erased her airplay. She coaches singers who now chase the spotlight that scorched her. Mac Davis could wrangle a melody like a rodeo champ grabs rope. Elvis recorded his words and arenas sang along, yet heart trouble stalked him backstage, forcing cancellations he loathed. Scotty Wiseman's tale begins behind a dusty Carolina barn where neighbors balanced on milk crates to hear a boy not much bigger than his banjo. Television muscled in, bookings vanished, and lean years stretched. 14 names: Brenda, Tanya, Johnny, Hank Jr., Ricky, Lori, Linda, Marie, Jet, Shirley, Linda Manning, Judy, Mac, Scotty, form a cautionary constellation about childhood swapped for chart positions and the eventual reckoning that comes with interest. Fame is a carnival prize, shiny, thrilling, impossible not to. Brag about when you first grab it, yet the paint chips quickly. The ringmasters realize kids sell tickets twice, once as novelties and again as comeback stories. When a voice cracks or a teenager discovers rebellious distraction, the narrative pivots from innocent wonder to lurid headline. Look closer at the contracts signed in crayon. There's always a parent promising to quit if it stops being fun, yet grown-up mortgages depend on nightly ovations. Managers insist it's just one more fair studio session, midnight flight. Before long, the kid is 25, applause conditional, and the rest of life feels like filler between encores that may never return. Modern viewers binge clip compilations of Brenda's volcanic belting or Ricky's grin, unaware of quiet breakdowns backstage. We stream vintage Tanya interviews for retro kicks, forgetting she missed high school formals while navigating adult vices. Yet, against odds, pieces of wonder remain. Hank Jr.'s anthem blasting through a stadium still chills spines. Linda Ronstadt's recordings teach fearless phrasing. Brenda's holiday classic unites generations. Next time a viral 8-year-old outsings seasoned pros, ask who protects that spark from predatory contracts, burnout hidden in tour buses, and loneliness disguised as backstage passes. Scotty Wiseman's story drifts through dusty archives, yet authenticity could feel revolutionary again if decision-makers remembered how to hear real wood beneath plastic veneer. Brenda Lee's later chronicles prove triumph and ache can coexist. Each January, silence follows December streaming crowns. Tanya Tucker's comeback trophies rest beside a bus closet list of toxic hangouts to avoid. Hank Jr.'s recovery crawled. Liquid food, experimental surgeries, riffs composed in pain. Ricky Nelson's final afternoon was spent begging for better sound checks. Investigators later found set lists labeled, "Prove You Still Belong." Johnny Horton's widow still leaves lilies at a guardrail that fans funded $1 at a time. Lori Morgan guest lectures on accountants who vanish with royalties and therapists as vital as stagehands. Linda Ronstadt mentors by email, refusing to let students fear fragility. Marie Osmond designs dolls whose boxes include discreet hotline numbers. Jet Williams signs autographs with both names, bridging two lives courts tried to keep apart. Shirley Colley remains a whisper among backing vocalists. Demand credit before the spotlight swivels away. Linda Manning's hometown painted her mural. Teens believed she was fictional until teachers screened grainy footage. Judy Rodman stitched a virtual choir that went viral decades after her radio reign. Fame's algorithmic age repackages history for clicks. A grainy clip of Brenda riffs across a feed, sponsorships follow, and the cycle threatens to reboot. Insiders blame the market, but markets are people deciding what to reward. Perhaps the revolution is patience, fans willing to let prodigies vanish for adolescence and return when adult voices align. Until that day, these stories ride shotgun when we scroll past fresh talent, reminding us a career is a marathon needing rest stops and guardrails. The next time you see a pint-sized dynamo belting a classic on a talent show, let applause ring out, then remember boundaries protect brilliance. We viewers rarely pay for ticket stubs, yet we hold immense power. We decide whether to click sensational thumbnails promising meltdowns or thoughtful updates celebrating growth. Choose wisely. The standing ovation you skip today might become the free hour a kid spends offline. In that hour, a scar might never form. A headline might never actually be written. The neon glow of today's streaming age looks nothing like the hand-painted billboards of mid-century America. Yet the machine beneath the glitter still eats childhoods for fuel. Instead of carnival barkers herding prodigies onto smoky stages, talent agents now slide into family DMs promising instant virality in exchange for a signature on a PDF contract nobody fully reads. Smartphones replace ticket stubs, comment sections replace autograph lines, and parents chasing brand deals click accept faster than their kids can ask how royalties work. Yesterday's backstage corridors smell of cigarette haze. Today's smell of ring lights warming cramped bedrooms where homework competes with rehearsal. Consider Brenda's early tours where wages evaporated into gas tanks and hotel ledgers. Modern prodigies see streaming pennies vanish into opaque royalty dashboards nobody but a label accountant can decode. When Tanya faced gossip magazines, she read rumors once a week. Today, a trending hashtag can spin a fresh narrative every hour, amplified by reaction channels hungry for ad revenue. Johnny Horton's fatal wreck produced a single devastating headline, but a present-day crash would live stream across dozens of feeds, complete with ad breaks and countdown clocks to exclusive interviews. Fans, too, have changed their shape. They no longer queue overnight for bleacher seats. They binge entire careers in one afternoon, cherry-picking high notes and meltdown clips as though scrolling an all-you-can-eat emotional buffet. A casual swipe decides whether a child star is tomorrow's icon or yesterday's meme. Metrics translate individual boredom into executive directives. Change the hair, drop a darker single, start an edgy vlog. The same invisible math once stripped Ricky Nelson of creative control now stalks every 12-year-old with a golden throat and a Wi-Fi connection. Yet hope never disappears entirely. Hank Jr. rebuilt himself after that mountain tumble, proving bodies and brands can heal. Linda Ronstadt's voice may have faded, but her advocacy for artist health rings loud in congressional hearings on touring reform. Lori Morgan now demands grief counselors on kid-centered talent shows she guest judges. Mac Davis's friends founded a songwriting camp where royalties are split 50-50 with every under-18 participant, ensuring no Coogan law loophole can steal the next chorus. Industry insiders whisper the next revolution will be parental literacy. Contracts increasingly include wellness windows, mandatory calendar blocks for school, sleep, and unstructured play. Labels that refuse risk public backlash organized by fan collectives that track exploitative practices the way watchdogs once tracked payola. When a mega streamer recently tried to schedule an 11-year-old for a 20-city press run, subscribers mounted a boycott within hours. The itinerary was cut in half and tutoring time doubled. Technology can serve villain or hero depending on who holds the remote. Artificial intelligence schedule tools flag burnout indicators based on vocal strain data, recommending rest days before damage becomes permanent. Virtual studio sessions let gifted kids record chart-ready vocals from hometown bedrooms, surrounded by relatives instead of strangers. But the same mirroring tools can auto-tune innocence into marketable gloss, teaching a child to equate digital perfection with personal worth. It takes vigilant guardians to keep the line between help and harm from blurring. Marie Osmond's charity foundation now funds group therapy for young influencers, spaces where they can admit fears without calculating sponsorship clauses. In shared circles, they read letters from past stars, Brenda describing homesickness, Judy Rodman discussing label collapse, Shirley Colley recounting anonymity's sting. Hearing those testimonies convinces many to slow production schedules and finish high school diplomas before chasing platinum plaques. Public taste can pivot, but moral responsibility stays evergreen. Each time viewers click a sensational headline, they vote for another kid to sacrifice privacy. Each time they share a respectful interview about craft rather than chaos, they reinforce healthier narratives. It is audience fingerprints on the trend graph that decide whether tomorrow's top search is child star meltdown compilation or child star finishes college. The power never left our hands. Algorithms simply quantified it. You might wonder if continued fascination with tragic arcs only perpetuates harm. Storytellers must tread carefully, connecting dots without gawking at wounds. That's why this script digs into economics and psychology instead of repeating lurid legends. Understanding systemic roots turns voyeurism into vigilance. If Brenda's royalty losses teach a modern vlogger to demand transparent accounting, recounting that pain gained purpose. If Tanya's struggle with substance misuse persuades a touring coach to pack mocktails for the minors on a bus, her hardship becomes a safeguard. Even hope requires honesty. Not every prodigy will escape unscathed. Fame accelerates every emotion, good or bad. A supportive family can morph into a management firm overnight. Siblings into payroll staff, childhood friendships into jealousy threads. The precaution is not to ban early stardom altogether, but to slow its tempo, leaving space for mistakes that aren't immediately memeified. Remember Johnny Horton's dream of building a fishing lodge once he'd made it? He never got the chance. In a safer timeline, maybe he would have quit the road after 3 back-to-back singles instead of 5. Legacy curators guard the memories. Ricky Nelson's daughter organizes annual acoustic tributes where audience phones are sealed in lock pouches to force real listening. Linda Manning's former students digitize rehearsal tapes so future scholars recognize her significance. Jet Williams sponsors legal workshops teaching heirs how to secure posthumous rights before distant relatives scramble for percentages. These acts fortify cultural foundations, ensuring stories remain three-dimensional rather than footnote caution. Education could be the ultimate antidote. Universities now offer courses titled Youth Artistry and Ethics, hosting panels where Nashville veterans sit beside TikTok phenoms. Students debate case studies. Should an 8-year-old sign a global merch deal? How many tour stops can a 14-year-old handle during exam season? By framing such questions academically, society signals that protecting talent is as important as monetizing it. Admittedly, progress is messy. For every guardian angel, there's still a profiteer convincing families that exhaustion equals dedication. Some lessons repeat like cursed choruses. A bus crash here, a leaked demo there, a public breakdown live streamed to millions who tune in for support but stay for spectacle. Change requires unglamorous persistence, signing petitions, funding helplines, unfollowing exploitative channels, praising slow-burn artistry. The work seems mundane next to spotlight drama, yet it is precisely the boring tasks that keep young dreams alive. Imagine a future retrospective. A documentary released 2 decades from now re-examines today's freshman sensations and finds them thriving. No lost royalties, no chronic throat damage, no estranged families. Journalists trying to manufacture scandal struggle because the archives show balanced schedules, transparent contracts, meaningful off-camera lives. Commentators hail it as a miracle, but it will be nothing mystical. Just incremental interventions rooted in lessons from Brenda, Tanya, Johnny, Hank Jr., Ricky, Lori, Linda, Marie, Jet, Shirley, Linda Manning, Judy, Mac, and Scotty. Until that imagined day fully arrives, vigilance is the price of harmony. So when this video ends, ask yourself what role you want to play, casual spectator or conscious custodian. If you choose the latter, your smallest habits, a pause before sharing gossip, a subscription to a healthy career vlog, a comment praising artistry over drama, become threads that weave a new safety net. And maybe then, somewhere backstage, a kid holding a borrowed guitar will feel a little lighter, knowing the audience out front values their well-being more than their next high note. Music itself is a conversation stretching across lifetimes, and the voices that carry it deserve room to grow from whispers to confident declarations. The Golden Age children we just revisited never truly lost their place in that conversation. They became cautionary harmonies underscoring every new chorus of opportunity. By recalling their struggles, we tune our collective ear, catching discordant notes before they swell into catastrophe. We are not powerless observers. We are co-writers of tomorrow's set list, note by note, choice by choice. Every replay, every share, every purchase edits the evolving score. Choose empathy as your guiding chord, and artists yet unborn will inherit an industry celebrating talent without devouring innocence. Let the ghosts of Brenda, Tanya, Johnny, Hank Jr., Ricky, Lori, Linda, Marie, Jet, Shirley, Linda Manning, Judy, Mac, and Scotty witness our resolve. Let their echoes become the metronome of progress, clicking toward a world where childhood and lights coexist in harmony.